Hello, readers. It is nice to see you again. I wanted to let you know that we have our first test coming up, and for our first reading test, you might need to kind of think back to last year. We have kind of two parts to our reading test. So one part is our written test, where normally we would be in the classroom and doing some writing on paper. But we're going to do this on the computer and it's going to be like a little Google form. And there'll just be like about 10 questions. So it's sort of a shorter written test. Usually there's like 20 or 30 questions. But for our distance learning on the computer, we're just going to have 10 questions. But then we also have our fluency checkout. So you might remember this from last year. We have it's actually called our oral reading fluency checkout. And that is the part where normally your reading teacher would call you to the back of the room or wherever his or her desk is. My desk is in the back. And I would ask you to read a little portion of the story to me. And I would ask you to think about reading with expression. I would ask you to think about reading at a nice pace, not too fast, not too slow. And I would really ask you to pay attention to each word and also to each end mark. So, kind of keeping a few things in mind, this is our oral reading fluency checkout. So, because it's our first time to do this, I wanted to give you a little bit more guidance and kind of a little bit more heads up about what this is going to look like. So, I'm going to kind of show you what this is going to be like. But before we do that, let's take a look on the screen here. So it says we kind of have these three goals for our oral reading fluency checkout. The first goal is to read with accuracy. And accuracy means to read each word carefully and hopefully correctly. That means we're kind of sounding it out and saying it the correct way. And we're trying to make fewer than two mistakes. Now, of course, it's totally okay that we make mistakes, but the goal here is that we've read it enough times so that we hopefully don't make any mistakes. Our goal is kind of to practice this passage a few times so that we can read it without making mistakes. Our second goal is to read with excuse me, to read at a Sailor was tongue tied. To read at an appropriate pace. And that means not too fast, not too slow. So we're going to try to pay attention to end marks and we're going to try to read the passage in less than 1 minute. So that is our goal for, again, not too fast, not too slow. And then our last goal is to read with expression. And when we read with expression, it means we show feeling with our voice. And we also try to read in kind of a natural way so it sounds like the way that we talk. So, those are some goals to keep in mind. And here is our first oral reading fluency checkout. So, I thought it would be a good idea, it would be prudent for me to show you what this will look like. So, you have two choices here. You can either read this passage to an adult at home and they can make a little video of you and then submit it to the or kind of upload it in the assignment in Google Classroom, and then I can kind of watch it and see how you're doing, and I can help out. Or you can come to my Zoom meeting room that will be open, and you can just kind of go click on the link and I will see that you're in my waiting room and I will probably assume, oh, I think so and so wants to read the passage to me. And then I will listen while you read it to me. So, two choices. You can ask an adult to make a little video of you. And often they could probably just use their phone and make a little video and then submit the video to me. Or you can come to my Zoom meeting room and read it out loud to me. So, this is our passage. It's from page 39 in our Reading Mastery textbook. And you'll notice there's a little flower at the top where to start, and then there's a flower at the bottom for where to finish. So, if we were reading this passage, we're going to try to read each word carefully. We're going to try to pay attention to end marks. We're going to try to read not too fast, not too slow. And then also, we're going to work on adding some expression and some feeling. So, it might look or it might sound something like this. Okay, Miss Taylor's going to try. Old Henry explained, "We are behind a lot of other geese. Those geese fly through the air and leave a trail of wind that moves in the same direction the geese are moving. We're flying through that air, so we don't have to work as hard as the geese up front." Tim said, "That's good for us, but I sure wouldn't want to be one of those geese up front." Henry said, "All the geese that are up front take turns at being the first goose in the V. They fly at the point for an hour or more and then change places with another goose." Then Henry noticed that his wing wasn't as sore. Okay, so again, when we get to that second flower, we're going to stop. And our goals are to kind of read each word carefully and correctly. We're going to try to read not too fast, not too slow. So our goal is to kind of read this little passage in 1 minute or less than 1 minute. We're going to try to read it with fewer than two mistakes. And we're going to try to add some expression. So kind of thinking about how can I add feeling to what the characters are saying, and how can I make it sound kind of natural, like it sounds when I talk, when I speak. So again, this is what you're going to do for our oral reading fluency checkout. So you have your written test part, and then this is the oral part, kind of your speaking part and your reading out loud part. So let me know if you would like to come to my Zoom meeting room and read it to me, or you can ask an adult or a parent or older brother or sister or someone at home if they can make a short little video of you reading this passage from page 39. All right. Thank you, readers. I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day. Bye.